Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United new transfer news and takeover update news show. Lots and lots to talk about on today's show. Talking about 5 massive bids coming in for Manchester United, the full takeover. We're going to get into who the bids are from, what's the situation with that. Paul Mitchell potentially to come in with new owners looking for a move to United, the end of Richard Arnold, the end of John Murtough. We got news from reliable sources in and around Barcelona about Ansu Fati to Manchester United. News coming out that the European Super League is back. Ten Hag speaking about Garnacho, news on Victor Osimhen, more news on Qatar and Qatar's plans. There was a lot of conflicting news on Qatar today, but it's been cleared up that the Qatar party interested in United is separate from the QSI, so it would be a full sale. And it's pretty much kind of been confirmed today that the full sale of United is happening, and it's happening soon with the 5 bids coming in. Like, so much exciting news to get into, so many stories I want to get into, and I'm not sure where to start really. I think I'll probably start with Garnacho and then get into the stories because I do want to get this off my chest. I just made a video on it. But Garnacho cares so much. He really has the mindset to be great. And I think that Garnacho is a really, really talented player. And it really irritates me. It really, really irritates me, the stick Garnacho's getting. Before I even get into the news, I want to talk about this. I just made a TikTok on it, actually. Alejandro Garnacho yesterday, he's liking tweets about him, being not ready for United and stuff. And that really upset me because he's going to be sitting on Twitter, seeing what people were saying, and his confidence is going to be knocked. And I think with Garnacho, was it his best game yesterday? No, it wasn't. Was he maybe being out-physicaled by Ayo and pushed off the ball easily? Yes. Did Garnacho miss a one-on-one? Yes, he struggled. But, I feel like fans are forgetting, when we played Crystal Palace last week, who comes off the bench, makes a brilliant impact and has a massive part to play in the second goal, which got us the 3 points? Garnacho. Who came on off the bench versus Manchester City and gets the assist? Garnacho. Who comes off the bench versus Fulham and gets the winning goal? Garnacho. Who put in a man-of-the-match performance on his Premier League debut and his Europa League debut and got a goal as well in the second Europa League game? Alejandro Garnacho. Who's been brilliant in the Carabao Cup when he's had the opportunities against Charlton and stuff? Alejandro Garnacho. He's been brilliant 9 times out of 10 when he's played. And he'll be inconsistent. He's had the odd game where he's not maybe had the impact he's wanted to have. And yeah, it wasn't a good game for Garnacho yesterday versus Leeds. But he was Player of the Month not that long ago. He's 18. And people, you can say, look, this wasn't Garnacho's best game. Let's get Rashford on the left and let's put Sancho on the right and let's get Garnacho off. That's fair. It wasn't his best game. But I see people, you could criticise him, but I see people on Twitter almost expecting him to be good. It's like, I think what I say with Garnacho is a youth academy player. He should be nurtured. He should be brought through. And I feel like the criticism he's getting is ridiculous. I think, people are expecting him to be prime Neymar turning up every week. We can't, the stick he was getting on social media. I saw people saying, get Garnacho out of this club, overrated trash. Oh, Garnacho's overhyped, la-di-la-di-la-di-la. I'm thinking, did you guys not watch Ronaldo at 18, some of you? Ronaldo at 18, someone said this to me. He was raw, he was a product. Fans would be annoyed at him, and look how Ronaldo turned out. I'll tell you an example. Vinicius Jr. right now. Let's talk about Vinicius Jr. Literally, 3 years ago, people were saying he wasn't Brazilian. People were saying Vinicius Jr. isn't Brazilian. Real Madrid fans were slandering Vinicius Jr. at 18 because he was inconsistent. He'd have a good game, he'd have a bad game, he'd have a good game. Look how Vinicius Jr. turned out. It is normal at 18. There's no 18-year-old in world football that just turns up and is super, super consistent like that. It's so rare. Vinicius Jr. Ronaldo at 18 were iffy. They were inconsistent. They had good games. They had bad games. They had their critiques. But he's 18, and I think, he's allowed to have a bad game. He's allowed not to be on it. If you have a problem with Garnacho having a bad game, then go on and have a problem with the board for not giving Ten Hag more options and not giving Ten Hag who we wanted. He's allowed to have a bad game. We didn't lose because Garnacho missed that one-on-one. We lost because we fell asleep, because we conceded 2 sloppy goals. There's no one you can't blame Garnacho for the loss. And I think, my point is he's 18, and I feel like there's these ridiculously high expectations around him as well. Garnacho is great. Just because he isn't well matched for all situations does not make him a bad player. Exactly. He's 18, he's going to learn and grow. And that was a physical game, and he was getting pushed off the ball. And that's an element of his game he'll need to improve. And that will come with time. And as Fati says, Garnacho hates idiots. An 18-year-old lad ripping defences apart. CR7 was slated, morons unite. Honestly, it's like Garnacho has been really, really good as well. Garnacho has been really, really good for United as well. really, causing defences problems. And he's been good more times than bad as well. And people that complain about 18-year-old know nothing about football, exactly. And Glazers will accept anything over 5 billion. They might have to go just under 5 billion, and we'll get into that as well. And our team shape was screwed up because we don't have a 6. Now, I do want to talk about yesterday's game, and I do want to get into the new owner news. I have to say, going into yesterday's game, it was so evident that we missed Casemiro. I'm pretty sure you guys will agree with that. Fred, without Casemiro, is not Brazilian. Fred only finds his passport when he's with Casemiro. I tell you this now. He's not. Fred without Casemiro is horrific. And you know what? You can moan and whinge all you want. We drop points to Leeds. It's frustrating, but I'm not that negative about it. Because at the end of the day, I sit there and go, Ten Hag had to end the game with Fred and Lindelof in midfield because the ball gave him so little options in midfield. I sit there and I think, you know what? We've ended that game with Fred and Lindelof in midfield. Ten Hag's not been able to play a strongest front three all season, and Ten Hag's got us in third place. I still think United are in a good position compared we were to last year. We dropped points to Leeds. It's frustrating. It's annoying because some people believe we're in a title race, but we move on. The loss wasn't that deep yesterday. Silly mistakes cost us, and I was hurt that we lost to Leeds. I don't like Leeds, and we didn't lose, we draw. And I was hurt to drop points to Leeds, but there's this massive overreaction on Twitter, acting like we'd lost. People wanting Garnacho out, and I just think people need to calm down on this Garnacho hate and the reaction to us dropping points as well. So you're going to start falling asleep. I won't today. It's only Monday live streams I fall asleep on because I just get really tired on Mondays because I have like 5 a.m. starts as well. Look, Garnacho could be the new Ronaldo. Could be iffy at 18, criticised, and then he'll just end up being a baller. We know he wants to be Ronaldo as well. But, yesterday in the midfield, we were atrocious. The midfield, if anything, not having Casemiro, we lost our structure. And my favourite thing, actually, I will get into news, but my favourite thing that Ten Hag said after the match, and I want to get into this quickly. Can I find this quote? Ten Hag said, "I'm so angry we started the derby in this way. I want to play again now against Leeds immediately, but I have to wait. My players are the same. We have to save our energy and make sure we're ready for Sunday." Ten Hag said he's fuming about the Leeds game. He just wants to play them again now. He's fuming. He wants to get revenge. He wants to play them again now. We started badly. Ten Hag's in the mood for it. Ten Hag is up for it, and we did miss Casemiro versus Leeds, but we have to talk about the positive, the scenes when Sancho scored. Smash that like button if you guys were happy to see Sancho score. Honestly, for me, it felt like that goal felt like a winner. Even though it was an equaliser, it felt like a winner because Jadon Sancho's obviously been through a tough time. I don't know what Jadon Sancho's gone through, but by the amount of how Ten Hag was sitting there smiling, by what how supportive his teammates have been from him, I get the impression that probably Sancho's just gone through something that isn't probably particularly nice. Not that I know much about it, and it's not been easy for him. And I think for him to score and come back and bounce back, and what Ten Hag was saying post-match about Sancho and his response and everything, you can tell that Ten Hag is really happy for Jadon Sancho, and I think we're all really happy for Jadon Sancho to score, and I think we all know in this fan base what Jadon Sancho is capable of. I'm pretty sure we all know how good Sancho can be and what he's capable of in this fan base, and I think if Ten Hag can get Ronaldo back to his best, he can definitely get Jadon Sancho back to his best, and I do think an in-form, at his best, Jadon Sancho, Borussia Dortmund, Jadon Sancho. It's a new signing because we haven't really got that at United. It's really a new signing because he's an absolutely fantastic player, Jadon Sancho. But continuing on with the news, people, smash a like, smash a subscribe, and all of that as well. Let me know your thoughts. I think Garnacho will be great at United, says Daniel. I agree. I think Garnacho's a good player, and I think the stick Garnacho's getting is an absolute joke. I do think we missed a 6 yesterday. I do think that Fred's not the same without Casemiro and all of that, and we didn't lose, and that's what counts. We are playing better than I thought we would. We are a fantastic position. No one thought we would be where we are. Let's get a grip. Exactly. I think when you look at the game, United are still in a good position. We're still 4 points clear in top 4. No one even thought we'd get top 4 this season. Ten Hag's overachieving with the squad. We're building something. We're playing nice football. It's disappointing to drop points to Leeds, but it's not the end of the world. We go again, and it's about getting revenge against Leeds at the weekend as well. And as Caitlin said, Rashford's the first United player to score in 6 consecutive Premier League games at Old Trafford since Wayne Rooney. And I have to say, Rashford's got 20 goals already this season. Post-World Cup, Rashford's been brilliant. I have to say, this is my opinion on Rashford. I think because the World Cup got the whole country back on Rashford's side, he had a good World Cup. Everyone was behind him. Everyone was talking positive Rashford. He was in good form before the World Cup. He was really good at the World Cup, scored a few goals. Whole country was talking about how good Rashford is. And I think Rashford's got his confidence back because Rashford was good before the World Cup, but post-World Cup, Rashford's a different player. and he's improved under Ten Hag, but the big difference with Rashford is he's got his confidence back. And I think that Sancho goal for me is massive. That Sancho goal, in my opinion, is really important because I think just like how Rashford got his confidence back, I think that goal will bring back Jadon Sancho's confidence. And I do think that Jadon Sancho's going to have a good game. And I thought him and Pellistri, when they came off the bench, they're absolutely brilliant. They changed the game. They're absolutely fantastic and all of that as well. But let's get into the news on new owners, people, because I've spent 8 minutes waffling. And it was said here, as you can see, that at least 5 serious buyers are preparing to make offers to buy Manchester United. Sources familiar with the process believe there is enough interest for the Glazer family to secure an acceptable price, which could be in excess of 5 billion. But they're talking about 5 offers. So who are those offers? Qatar, 2 from the US, Jim Ratcliffe, and reportedly 1 is expected from Asia or somewhere else in the Middle East as well. We will get into that as well. Jim Ratcliffe has hired JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs to advise him on an offer for United, and deliberations are ongoing, and there's no certainty what Ratcliffe will decide to do. But apparently banks, including Goldman Sachs, are ready to back a takeover bid from Jim Ratcliffe if an offer's made, which would cover the value of United and the existing debt. And Jim Ratcliffe plans to pay off the debt, but Jim Ratcliffe would be making a bid with Goldman Sachs, which in my opinion isn't ideal if I'm being honest with you guys, because you're getting bankers involved with the club as well. It was said the private investors linked are the Qatari royal family, and they're considering making a bid to buy Manchester United. And 5 serious bidders have emerged in the battle to buy Manchester United ahead of the next stage, as mentioned, and that Qatari private investors are likely to face opposition from 4 rivals ahead of Friday's soft deadline, with some bids already being made. So that's some of the big news coming out about Qatar, about lots of people going in for United. And I think for me, this pretty much confirms a full sale. I feel like this is happening. I had a bit of a doubt over the sale of United at first. I thought, even though it would be stock market manipulation and they could potentially get in trouble, I had a few doubts around Manchester United to begin with, in the extent of I was like, are they going to sell the club or not? There was times when it was really loud. There was times when it was really quiet. I thought, are they selling the club? Are they not selling the club? What's going on? And I feel like this week, the stock market price is just rooted up. But this week, we really know that Man United is for sale. We really know that those Glazers are going to go. I mean, I'd be very surprised if a minority stake was sorted. I think, hearing stuff about the debt being paid off and the Glazers' plan for the debt indicates full sale. The Rain Group who are overseeing it say they want a full sale. I think the Glazers want a full sale. I don't think anyone's stupid enough to give them a minority stake. There are people saying that Qatar are going to give them a minority stake. That's the QSI. This is the royal family of Qatar, not the QSI. The QSI are not involved. People saying, well, will we be able to play in the Champions League? PSG are in there. Well, yeah, but both owners would be Qatari, but they'd be different people in Qatar. And at the end of the day, this Champions League rule, RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg are in the same competition together. So why can't Man U and PSG, when Man U and PSG's owners would actually technically be different, just from the same country? There's all of those things you can add to it as well. There's more news on this that I do want to get into. And it remains the case that, according to those familiar with the process, a full takeover is the most likely outcome. And I think that was the big news really for today. Today really confirms, I think it's the end of the Glazers at United. Today, I think really confirms they're going. I'll be very shocked if I'm trying to get the news up, but it's just glitched. Let me get that. I'd be very shocked if the Glazers are here after summer. I think the fact that bids are going in now and things are looking big now says to me that, we might have new owners come in the summer. Ten Hag have new owners back in the transfer window in the summer, and that is massive. Obviously we could get new owners and they could be Glazers 2.0 and they could be awful. And, maybe we're being sold the dream with Qatar. Maybe they're, it's all PR spin and all of that. Qatar want to bring Man United back to the top. Qatar want to make Manchester United a superpower again. It sounds brilliant. It almost sounds too good to be true, all this Qatari news coming out. And maybe they're selling us a dream. I don't know. Maybe we'll get bad owners in, but it just feels like it's the end of the Glazers and the beginning of an era at United. And Ten Hag said eras must come to an end. And as Liverpool are looking poor and as City are looking poor and they're massively dropping off, United are looking good again. And maybe Ten Hag was right when he said eras must come to an end as well. Only Haaland has scored more goals than Rashford this season out of Premier League players. It's actually incredible how good Rashford's been. And the Glazers, in the end, walks away with loads greedy buggers. The worst part about this is the Glazers are just going to get a shit ton of money for United. Now, the Glazers are trying to milk it out for 5-6 billion. I think they might settle for $4.5 billion. We know the Saudis, you know, it was said the Saudis could pay $8 billion and build a new stadium and it wouldn't bother them. You know, not the Saudis, the Qataris. We know the money the Qataris have could be much more than the other investors, and that the Qataris are the favourite to be the next owners of the United because the money they have, you know, kind of trumps what other investors have. And we know that the Glazers are likely to sell to those who obviously have the most money. Judy said Mike Keegan confirmed Saudi investors not connected to the government have already entered the process of reviewing financial documents at United. Yeah, we do know the Saudis are also looking at it as well. Today, I feel Qatari as well. We will talk about the Saudis. We will talk about the Qataris as well. Alice, you could run United better than the American Cockheads. Well, Todd Boehly is a good American owner in the sense of he actually cares about his club, but we just don't want American. We don't want American bankers. And Mike Keegan did confirm Saudi investors have entered the process. Of course, Saudi people are interested in United. We're going to talk about those interested in United, who's done the bids, who's reliable, and all of that as well. But it has been understood that multiple parties in Saudi Arabia have been given access to the data, and they will now choose whether they're going to make an offer as well. But I want to talk about something that's really confusing people. Like, oh, is it a partial stake? Is it a full takeover? What's this? What's that? And it's basically been said the QSI is fully focused on PSG, and that's the Qatar Sports Investment, and will therefore not make an offer to buy United. If Qatar were to make an offer, it would come from the Qatar Investment Authority, otherwise known as the QIA. And people are getting confused between the QSI and the QIA. The QSI is PSG. The QIA could be Manchester United. They're not the same thing. And I've seen people having a meltdown saying, oh, don't you know Qatar means minority stake? It's the same as a PSG. It's not. It's not. There's nothing to worry about in that sense. You know, surely United would find a loophole around it, even if they've got similar owners, because, you know, RB Leipzig and Salzburg play in the Champions League together. But the main thing going on is that talks between Manchester United and Qataris have taken place as a group of investors from oil-rich states launched their bid for the club. So it's been confirmed today that talks between United and Qatar did take place, and they're launching their bid for the club. And that's the big news coming in, that Qatar, reportedly the QIA, are launching a bid for the club, and that the Qatar fund is worth $358 billion as well. We will talk about Jim Ratcliffe. We will talk about the Saudis. We will talk about other owners in a second as well. I do think the Middle Eastern ownership would be the best option for Manchester United, 100%. And we will touch upon the Super League as well in this video. But reportedly, Qatar are making a bid for United and have had talks. And this is that as well coming out from Mike Keegan, who is a good source as well. Only a moron would buy a minority stake in it. And look, from the news that's come out today, every reliable source under the sun is saying it's a full sale. The Glazers are going. The debt's going to be paid off. It's a full sale. Do you know what brilliant is that? Whoever the new owners are, the debt will be gone. The debt will be cleared. No more, you know, taking money going out in what's it called? Not dividends. In interest. Hopefully, the end of dividends FC, if we can get the whole stock market thing off the stock market and all of that. Hopefully, we're a club where people don't take money out of, but we're a club where there's just money going in, and this is all focused on the club. It's all focused on the pitch and how good United are, and they're really going in a good direction in that sense. There's more news coming out saying talks between prospective buyers and United's hierarchy have followed. The Qataris are also confident that there will be no issue present with the QSI's ownership of PSG. So the Qatari royal family believe that there will be no issue, that the QSI own PSG, and that will not affect us at all. And UEFA's rules forbid two clubs with the same owners from participating in the same competition, and PSG could face United in Europe. This is an area being examined by expert acts on behalf of those involved, and there's a belief that that will not be a problem. So even if we do get Qatari owners, they believe that that will not be a problem, the UEFA rule. That is what they're saying. And again, our owners will be slightly different. And I'm pretty sure RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg have been in the Champions League in the same season, and they basically have the same owners. So, I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I think Qatar are serious about a full sale. And what's the group interested in Manchester United are described as entirely separate from the QSI, and the money would be from an individual fund, not a sovereign wealth fund. So they're basically saying the people in Qatar who want United are separate from the QSI. They want a full sale. You know, the Qatar monarchy, $335 billion, they've got their own fund as well. And we know that if we've got these Qatari owners, we're up there with Newcastle in terms of wealth. It's crazy how rich the Qatari owners are. But also, you know, for me, Man United, if they got rich oil money owners, it's just illegal in that sense of, you know, Man United already makes so much money by itself without owner investment. Man United is one of the only clubs in the world that can function and make a profit without the owners having to put any money in and the owners taking money out. The owners take, 30 odd million out in dividends a year, and United just generates that so the shareholders can take that out. Every other club, has significant investment coming in from owners. United is one of those few squads that can make money without owners. Imagine United with the money they make under the Glazers. Imagine the money they would make if they were successful again. But imagine the money Man United make plus investment from their owners, like where that would get us. It would be absolutely unreal as well. And it was also said that the aim for Qatar is to make a substantial investment that would allow Erik Ten Hag to improve the squad, and attention would be paid not only to redeveloping Old Trafford, but the vast areas around Old Trafford as well that are owned by the club. And there's even news coming out about what Qatar's plans are for United, and that is to back Ten Hag, take Ten Hag back to the top, completely back Ten Hag. And I just said, Man United with oil money is a force. Man United with oil money is an absolute force. But not only that, they would look to redevelop the stadium. And it's been said that, the money that it would cost to buy United doesn't seem to be a problem for Qatar. It cost a lot of money to buy United, but it's not looking like a big problem for Qatar. They're going to spend, 5-6 billion on United. They could spend 2 billion on the stadium. They could spend 1 billion causing the debt. And they're saying that's not going to phase Qatar at all. They've got the money for that. They've got an unbelievable amount of wealth as well. And United just need a non-moronic board plus some ample facilities and infrastructure. Exactly. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to talk about, obviously Paul Mitchell coming in and obviously John Murtough on the way out. We have hit 98 likes, guys. 2 likes away from 100 likes. So smash that like button. I want to hit 200 likes by the end of the stream. And I've got 500 people watching. So please do hit that like button if you have not already as well. And Ronaldo has scored a hat-trick reportedly as well. I do want to quickly talk about Paul Mitchell and all of that, because it was said that when Manchester United get new owners, the board will be sacked. If Qatar own Manchester United, that is Murtough gone. That is Arnold gone. That is the board sacked. And amongst the pretty much confirmation going on that United are going to get new owners, I mean, with the news coming out, it's looking more and more likely we're going to get new owners. There's also news about United getting sporting director Paul Mitchell, and it was said that sporting director Paul Mitchell was looking for a move to the Premier League, and Man United and Liverpool both want to sign sporting director Paul Mitchell, who will be available soon. Now, Man United and Liverpool both in the same stage. They both got getting new owners, and they both want to hire Paul Mitchell. Liverpool obviously miss Michael Edwards massively. But it was said here, Man U and Liverpool both want sporting director Paul Mitchell, who will be available soon. This is my opinion. We get new owners in. So the deadline is next Friday. The deadline for bids is next Friday. We get new owners sorted by April. That gives us April and time to go and get Paul Mitchell when he's done at Monaco to Manchester United. Time to back to now. Time to sign players ahead of the summer. Ralph Rangnick recommended Paul Mitchell. We all know who Paul Mitchell is on the channel. Really good sporting director. Someone we need, not John Murtough, not Richard Arnold making the decisions. Someone, look what he's done at PSG, the gems he's found. Look at the work he did at Tottenham. Look at the work he did at Southampton. Paul Mitchell's done a fantastic job where he's been so far, and Liverpool want him as well. And we do not want to lose someone like him to Liverpool. So I think new owners of United would be very smart to get rid of our current board and get people like Paul Mitchell in. I'd even look at getting Michael Edwards in just to piss off Liverpool, because he's someone that can oversee the transfer side of things. Because there's one thing having new owners and a lot of money, but we might spend money on stupid things. Like we spent 150 million on Al Wan-Bissaka, Dan James and Harry Maguire. It's also good to get someone in, like a sporting director that knows what they're doing. And like reportedly, Paul Mitchell, I was going to say Paul Ratcliffe, would come in potentially with new owners as well. And a lot of people asking who Paul Mitchell is. Let me show you who Paul Mitchell is. I'll give you some context if you don't know who Paul Mitchell is. Monaco sporting director to leave club Ahmed, Liverpool links. Monaco sporting director. But if we look at Paul Mitchell and maybe we put in clubs here, and we see we can find the clubs he's worked at. Paul Mitchell to end Monaco at the end of the transfer window. It will tell you all about him. He's worked at Monaco. He's worked at Spurs. He's worked at Southampton. He's does transfer recruitment. He's been a sporting director pretty much, done his job very efficiently. Monaco have done very well. And obviously Ralph Rangnick obviously highly recommended him to United, and United, as they always do, kind of ignored that Ralph Rangnick's recommendations. James Duck has just put out a story on, of course, Jim Ratcliffe buying Manchester United, which we will get into in a second. There's a big story coming up on Jim Ratcliffe to United. But I do want to talk about something quickly. We'll talk about Paul Mitchell in a second. I think Paul Mitchell would be brilliant for this club. I think Paul Mitchell would be absolutely perfect for United, because I think not only will we get rich owners in that are going to back Ten Hag, we'd have the man that's good with money, that's responsible with money. Glazes out, Glazes out, Glazes out. And Alice, to your opinion, will the Glazers be gone by March? I think end of April, the Glazers will be gone, pretty much formalised and gone. And Paul Mitchell is the best director of football in the game. New owners need to get him if they want to be successful. 100%. If Man United can get Paul Mitchell as the new, and new owners from Qatar that invest a lot of money, United is sorted. So yeah, big up everybody in the chat as well. Big up everybody in the chat. Smash the like button as well. Daniel again saying who Paul Mitchell is, and he's just a really good sporting director. So, someone that could do kind of Arnold, Murtough's role, but a lot better than them, which is something we've lacked in. And people said Ratcliffe isn't on the level as the other competition for United. He's definitely pulling out. Look, we will talk about Ratcliffe in a second. He's trying to build a consortium. He obviously really wants United. I'm not a fan of Jim Ratcliffe. All the top Reds want Jim Ratcliffe because he's a so-called United fan. I don't believe it. I think Ratcliffe, if anything, is the one sports washing, not Qatar. And that's my opinion. Now, I wanted to get up this tweet because I saw it today, and going back to the game, and I will get back into the news, and I will get back into the Super League stuff and all of that because there's quite a lot to talk about. But it was said no Anthony last night and we dropped points. Anthony comes off against Palace and we drop points from a winning position. Anthony comes off against Arsenal and we eventually lose by a cross to their left back. Hopefully, folks can see his importance now. You don't realise what you have until it's gone. And I think the game yesterday really made us realise that actually we do miss Anthony. Anthony, really gets involved in the game. We felt very one-dimensional. Rashford is not a right winger. Rashford on the right wing should be crime. We kept playing it to the left. Garnacho actually got a lot of the ball, but he was struggling. We're really one-dimensional about Anthony because Rashford can't get involved from the right. What Anthony does, even if you don't think he's the best and all that, is but Anthony consistently has like 50, 60 touches a game. He's tracking back. He's always in the positions. From a defensive perspective, Anthony, the way he presses, the way he runs, the way he tracks back, Anthony is probably one of the best defensive right wingers in the league. From a defensive perspective, we missed him massively. From a positioning perspective, we missed him massively. From a movement perspective, we missed it massively because Anthony gives us an opportunity there on the right. And although it's not quite clicked for him yet, United, and he hasn't been brilliant, you realise how much you miss him when he's not playing, when you realise actually what he gives us in terms of our shape. How one-dimensional we were and how dominant we were on the left-hand side without Anthony, like the old days where we only attacked on the left. We weren't attacking down the right, but when Palestri came on, it was a bit more even, and we moved Rashford to the left. But Rashford's the most informed winger in the world, and we kept playing it to Garnacho. We don't attack on the left, and I think that's something that people might see today. Actually, you know what? Anthony's more important than we think. Like, am I saying that Anthony's been brilliant for United? No. Has he been a bit disappointing so far in this transfer? Yes. But could Anthony be a fantastic player? Yes, he's 22. I think he could be a good player. I think the fans over-criticise him massively. I think Anthony is way too over-criticised. And I think, we see when he doesn't play, actually, what he provides to this team and what he has to offer. And I just wanted to clear that out of my mind as well. He's a good outlet for holding the ball as well. And Anthony does work so much off the ball, literally what I'm trying to say. And people say, hi, Alice, I prefer Van der Sar as CEO and Rangnick as sporting director. I tell you what, I'd love Van der Sar to come in. If I was new owners, I would bring Van der Sar in because we know he's got a great relationship with Ten Hag. I would literally rebuild that Ajax structure around Ten Hag if I was a new owners, but I don't think that's going to happen as well. And let's see more right-footed Palestri feeding out. Do you know what's annoying is? As soon as we take Bout off, we bring on Palestri and United start making crosses. You know the most annoying thing about the game yesterday was literally we start making crosses as soon as we're taking Wout off. We put two good crosses as soon as we take Wout off. I'm thinking, all game Wout has had no service, nothing to do because we're not passing or crossing the ball to him. As soon as we take him off, United decide, we're going to learn how to cross, or we're going to cross today, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that as well. Anthony's stats are way better than Jack Grealish, the British bias. Literally, Anthony is 5 years younger than Jack Grealish, costs £20 million less, has more goals for a worse side, yet Jack Grealish is apparently clear of Anthony. And Anthony gets an outrageous amount of stick compared to someone like Jack Grealish. We all banter Jack Grealish, but the media don't go in on Jack Grealish. The commentators pissed me off versus Forest. They pissed me off, those commentators, because they're going, Anthony's not been very good for United. Poor pass from Anthony. Anthony's poor. Do you know what pissed me off even more? Was that woman commentator last week versus Forest slandering Garnacho. The commentators were slandering Garnacho and Anthony last week, and it really got to me. I was like, look, they're not amazing at the moment. Yes, Murtough and Rashford. Yes, Rashford's our only winger firing. But we've got an 18-year-old and a 22-year-old that, this is their first season in the Prem, adapting to the league, showing good moments, and they're getting slander for it. And it annoys me because when we don't have Anthony, we see what we're missing in our shape. Garnacho is a good player, and just because he has 1-2 bad games, people are getting on his back. It just, honestly, people, it absolutely infuriates me. I did a TikTok on Garnacho, and I said this at the beginning of the video, and I just said, like, he's 18. Like, look at Ronaldo at 18. Look at the slander Vinicius Jr. got. But because he misses a one-on-one, people were generally commenting, oh, Garnacho lost us the game. Garnacho didn't lose United the game. The midfield was not good enough. We lost it in the first 5 minutes of both halves because we were not good enough. United weren't switched on enough. You cannot say Garnacho lost us the game. Fred was dreadful and gave away the ball loads, but I'm not even going to say Fred lost us the game. If you want to blame someone for losing the game, blame the board for not giving Ten Hag appropriate options in January. Oh, we're going to give you Wout Weghorst, a player from Turkey on loan. Oh, we can't get you a midfielder, but we'll get Sabitzer in last minute, who I think will be a good signing. La-di-la-di-la-di-la. Like Chelsea getting Enzo Fernandez and Mudryk. Not that I expected United to spend that kind of money, but just shows where the ambition's at. And do you know what really kills me about this club? And this is why I'm in a good mood at the moment, actually. It doesn't sound like I'm in a good mood, but I am in a good mood because I know the Glazers are going. We know the Glazers are going. We know the Glazers will be out soon, and that's the most important thing. But it's like Chelsea and City have owners that are just putting money into their club, pumping money into the club, making Chelsea better, making City better. Chelsea's owners doing this, City's owners doing that. While Manchester United owners are all about, taking money out in dividends, profitability, stock market. Let's take some money out in dividends every year. But our rivals owners are investing money in their team. And the lack of ambition at United over the years and the lack of ambition to back Ten Hag this January is exactly why the Glazers need to go, because we'll never succeed with the Glazers, even under Ten Hag doing a fantastic job. The fact that we were saying to Gakpo, we'll have to get you in the summer, we don't want to spend in January, when we know we had the money there. The fact that we could only do loan deals in January, despite Ten Hag warranting, more than a loan deal, because he'd lost Ronaldo, he's lost Eriksen, he's lost Donny through injury. They were only doing loan deals. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And then you see Liverpool, and you see even Arsenal, and you see Chelsea spending, and you see United doing nothing. It's outrageous, and I cannot wait till these owners are gone. And by the way things stand, these owners will be gone by the summer, because once Ten Hag gets good owners that give Ten Hag the backing he deserves, Erik Ten Hag, I've said it before and I say it again, and I know I'm repeating myself, and I know I'm probably annoying you, but Erik Ten Hag people will cook as well. Matt says he stands for Garnacho and Fred. Yeah, you can't blame someone as well. Sancho's close control and passes through tight spaces was world class last night. Smash that like button if Sancho was world class. Arguably man of the match. If he'd started a game, probably man of the match. I gave man of the match to the Sandro because he played longer. But honestly, Jadon Sancho was absolutely fantastic yesterday, people. Made 3 key passes, got a goal, was involved, barely gave the ball away. So involved as well. Sancho has more goals than Grealish and hasn't played for 4 months. Exactly. And you know what really irritated me with Sancho is he had 7 games that were poor, and they were like 007 Sancho picking on him. Doesn't get picked for the World Cup, picking on him. The amount of stick that Sancho got was a joke, and I think every fan should get behind Sancho, give him a bit of time to adjust. Hopefully the goal and confidence will give him the momentum to keep going as well. Judy says, I can confirm Michael Edwards is available as Director of Football, lives in Manchester. And also, Alice, Premier League won't allow another Glazers 2.0 to buy the Premier League because regulations don't allow it. Yes, I get what you mean with regulations, but I mean, I'm not saying that it will be the exact same as the Glazers, but people that will buy Man United and not have the club's best interest at heart. But yeah, no, I get your point there as well. But look, I have to say, the Sandro Martin is fantastic. Jadon Sancho, absolutely ridiculously fantastic at the moment. And, Michael Edwards would be fantastic for United. You know what, Liverpool, and I will say this about Liverpool, and this is an unpopular opinion of mine, but Liverpool have dropped off massively recently. And I said this about Gakpo. I said that Gakpo wasn't a signing for Liverpool. Liverpool needed a midfielder, not Gakpo. And Liverpool fans, oh, hey, we got Gakpo over here. Hey, we got Gakpo. Where's your Gakpo signing? You didn't need Gakpo, Liverpool. You needed a midfielder. Your midfield shit. I mean, we need a midfield because they're all injured, And, you're spending money on Núñez and Gakpo and these I don't think the right deals for Liverpool, And I think a big part of that is because Michael Edwards has left. Michael Edwards, when he was at Liverpool, was getting Robertson for 12 million from Hull. All that good business that Liverpool done that was all going through Michael Edwards. You look at those Liverpool signings, you look at some of the prices they got those players for, you look at Mane, you look at Firmino, you look at Salah, you look at even you know, what Liverpool had done, you know, how good Liverpool's recruitment has been in the past, why Wijnaldum ended up being a really good signing. Fabinho obviously dropped off massively now, really good signing. Van Dijk was the one they took the risk on and it paid off. You know, sold Coutinho for ridiculous amounts of money. You know, Man United couldn't get 100 million for a player if they tried. Even our most valuable asset, Bruno Fernandes, I don't think we get 100 million for. Even Rashford, I don't think we get 100 million for, because United don't know how to sell players. And, you know, Michael Edwards, you know, at Liverpool, knew how to buy players for cheap, knew how to get money when he sold players, run Liverpool so well. And since he's gone, Klopp's gone tits up. Liverpool's recruitment that's been so good recently under Klopp, these signings this season, tits up. You know, Liverpool's midfield neglected, then they spend money on Cody Gakpo, who they're playing out of position that doesn't fit Klopp's profile. Did they just look at Gakpo's stats and decide to buy him? It's like they didn't have a plan. And, you know, for me, you know, the role a sporting director can make in a club is crucial. They can have a massive impact. And I do think that Michael Edwards would be fantastic for United, not only because he was good at Liverpool, not only because he pissed off Liverpool fans, but you've got Ten Hag as a manager that knows what he wants. If you give Ten Hag the backing and the system, I think Ten Hag will succeed. We've got the manager. We're starting to build something good. What Man United have got so far? Where do Man United need to be? Where they were under Fergie? What have we got so far? We've got the brand, we've got the fans, we've got the whole shebang being United. We've got the manager now. We've got a young developing squad that are looking good, that need a few more signings. What do we need United to go from here to the top to be, you know, what Man City have been the last few years? We need significant backing of the manager. Not Wout Weghorst on loan in January. You should be getting João Felix. You should be doing those other deals. You should be signing the players he wants. We need significant backing for the manager, but also we need a competent board so that we are bringing in the right players and not flops. You know, Ed Woodward's thinking, let's bring in Harry Maguire and let's not get Haaland, let's get Ighalo. We want a competent board. And a competent board and backing on top of Ten Hag is the recipe for Manchester United to be very successful again. And I believe that. And whether that's Paul Mitchell that you bring in the board, whether that's Michael Edwards, both of them would be of absolute brilliant use to United and would definitely make a real positive impact as well. Our team has been shown to short with the injuries and suspension. John makes a good point. Man United have had I can't make sense now. United haven't had much depth. You know, Anthony's always injured. You know, Martial's injured 24/7. Sancho's been out for a bit. You know, United have had a lot of problems with injury and depth this season. We've barely played our strongest team at all this season, and we're sitting in third place. We're in a good position. And even Levy's better than Glazers, says Gaz, and you're spot on. The Glazers are the worst. And do you know what? Actually, this is weird. There's literally fans out there that would rather have there's United fans out there, I'm not lying, that would rather have the Glazers than Middle Eastern owners. And they go on about human rights and sports washing and all of that, and then they cream their pants over Jim Ratcliffe, these top reds, and they say these top reds who are, you know, cream their pants over Jim Ratcliffe and then start claiming they don't want Middle Eastern owners because they've got no morals. Jim Ratcliffe's made some questionable decisions in his life. He's not perfect. These top reds that generally would rather have the Glazers at Man United than the Middle Eastern owners. I get why people won't be a fan of Middle Eastern owners and some of the things that go down and some of the human rights. I get that. But also other owners, not just the Middle East, are dodgy, have done questionable things, you know. And I just think, how can you be a United fan and really feel that strongly about the Middle East that you'd rather have the Glazers? Because honestly, if a pea wanted to be the owner of Man United, I'd let a frozen pea be the owner of United, even though I can't do anything. Because at least it wouldn't be the Glazers. Like, I would generally do anything to get those Glazers out. And I'm looking at, you know, Qatari investment. You know, I don't know a lot about the family. I don't know a lot about the morals and all of that. But I'm looking at my club, Man United. I'm looking at, I want to get Man United back to the top. And I know Qatar are an organisation that support United, want to make United that force again, that want to back Ten Hag, that want to strengthen the squad. They're serious about buying United. They want to put that bid in and they want to get United to the top. I know that's what you get with Qatar. They want to back Ten Hag. They have plans to make United winners again. You know, they're not like a bank coming into United to milk us of more money. They want us to be at the top. And for me, that's the most important thing, having owners that want United to be at the top, because United is a club that deserves to be at the top. And unfortunately, United hasn't been at the top as much as it should have been lately. You know, United deserves more than it's getting at the moment. We should be at the top, and we're not. But we deserve owners that want to take us to the top. And for me, that's the most important thing. What's the owner's ambition and all of that as well. Ronaldo scores 4 goals today. And obviously, Piers Morgan is wanking himself off on Twitter because Piers Morgan's a weirdo. But I do want to get into some more news on Jim Ratcliffe, because I think we need to clear up the Jim Ratcliffe news, because it's not just the Qatar that's in for United. There are other parties. There's 5 parties involved as well. And there's 4 serious contenders have emerged ahead of the soft February 17th deadline. So again, 4 or 5 contenders as well. Several consortia led by American financiers have assured they will make an offer for United. So remember, this is not just Qatar. Americans are making offer for Manchester United. Man United weren't sure Sir Jim Ratcliffe would be ready to meet the price set by the Glazers, but sources confirm he has sought additional investment to put in a bid that would eclipse all of his previous investments in the sport. So apparently Jim Ratcliffe is serious about buying United, getting investors in as well, and that Jim Ratcliffe has given his strongest indication yet that he has the funding in place and working with 2 prolific investment banks for several weeks. Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan's are prepared to back his offer for United with bonds and loans beyond the value of 659 million. And I don't like this. I don't like this at all, because this feels like borrowing money. This feels like Glazers 2.0, getting banks involved. I don't want banks and bankers anywhere near United. I'm not a fan of Jim Ratcliffe, but other people are. But Jim Ratcliffe is seriously interested in Manchester United as well. Saudi Arabia also interested in buying Manchester United, and breaking bids for Manchester United are expected to exceed 5 billion. And why this story is massive, why this story is big for me, is they are saying, you know, Man United are expected to have bids of 5 billion. If we see bids of around 5 billion, United will be sold. And reportedly, multiple parties are willing to make a 5 billion bid for United. And for me, this news coming out at the moment, you know, even though we don't know who the new owner is, good or bad, we don't know who it is. We don't know what they're going to be like. But what we do know is the sale, pretty much from all the news coming out, is expected to happen. United expect bids as well. A highly powered Qatari individual and other wealthy investors are seriously considering an offer fully independent of PSG. So again, Qatar seriously considering it, and this Qatar party has nothing to do with PSG as well. So we've got Qatar, we've got the US, we've got Saudi Arabia, and we've got Jim Ratcliffe all seriously in for United, and all putting in bids of excess of 5 billion, people. Like, the sale of United is just around the corner. And I have to say, if you're new to the channel and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the United news and more. Because what I am going to say is I'm going to be making videos every day on the takeover of United. The next week is the bidding week. The next week it's going to heat up. This next week is going to be crazy for United, because all the biddings happening in this next week. Everything's happening between now and next Friday. It's going to be a massive week, and we're going to know very, very soon who those new owners can be. We know that people want the full sale. We know the bids are coming in. We know the club's basically going to be sold. But over the week, we're going to get an indication of who's putting the bids and who's like to be the next owner. So I have to say, make sure you're subscribed, because I will keep you up to date on all of these stories as well. Someone said, Alice, slow, take your time. Sorry, I'm getting excited with the news. I will try and slow down. Sometimes when I get excited with the news, I think I just talk fast and all of that as well. Anthony provides balance and defensive help to the fullback. Exactly. I will talk about the new European Super League in a second. I just want to talk about this news, because it's obviously big news as well. We need another striker and centre midfielder. I agree. Murtough sadness. Do you remember everyone was going on Murtough madness? Where's fucking De Jong? Where's Rabiot? Honestly, greedy leeches. I tell you what, Man United is not worth 5 billion, and if they get 5 billion to them, fair play. But I think you greedy jammy bastards. I think you greedy jammy bastards when I think of the Glazers, because I think you've just ruined this club. You've milked so much money out of it, and then you're going to sell the club for 7 billion. And it's just it kills me that the Glazers. It's not 7 billion, 5 billion, but it kills me that the Glazers are going to get so much money out of Manchester United. They've milked Manchester United to the bones, and they're going to just go and cash in and make a load of money off selling United. And it absolutely kills me inside out as well. Alice, Liverpool's head of transfers, Julian Ward, is the front runner to be the next Ajax director of football. Everyone is leaving Liverpool. They have 0 bids for new owners, and he's getting out quick. I have to say, the downfall of Liverpool, I'm loving it. I have to say, Man City getting in financial trouble that they might not be able to lawyer themselves out of. Man City looking likely to have either a transfer ban, a points deduction, or expulsion from the Premier League. Man City in trouble. Liverpool, everyone's leaving Liverpool. They're not getting top 4. It's a mess. Klopp's bound to be sacked. You know, Liverpool want new owners and they're all coming to United. Liverpool announced that they wanted new owners way before United, and look at all these new owners. They're coming in for Manchester United. They're going mad for United, not Liverpool. Liverpool stuck with FSG because everyone wants United, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Liverpool's downfall begins. Not only are they not only are they shit, all the new owners are running to United. City's downfall begins, and this could be the Arsenal Man United era. This could be the Arteta Ten Hag era coming up, because I think if Liverpool are sitting and falling, Man City are falling and getting in trouble, and United potentially getting new owners and starting to get better, it's the Ten Hag era. And I have to say, I'm loving that Liverpool are just suffering. I know it sounds horrible. They're just suffering. That everyone wants to leave. The club is a mess. They're probably not going to get Bellingham now. They're probably not going to get top four. I doubt they'll beat Real Madrid. They'll probably get knocked out of the Champions League. Klopp's going to be sacked. All the people at Liverpool want to leave. And I have to say, you mentioned obviously going to Ajax. I have to say, Van der Sar as United CEO would be nice. Paul Mitchell, Michael Edwards, Van der Sar. If United can get one of those people in, it would be absolutely fantastic as well. And Neil says that United are overachieving this season as fans. We forget that the state of the club was last season. Ten Hag's worked miracles. Exactly. I see a lot of fans very angry and getting very aggressive over the loss to Leeds. And yes, it's Leeds. Yes, it's rivals. Yes, it's not nice to lose to Leeds. But look where we were last season, and look what our expectations were before this season. Our expectations weren't even top four this season. I don't think any of us realistically thought we'd get top four. If you look at where we were a year ago and you just compare the squad, how they're playing, the personality to now, I couldn't be more happy. Because I generally thought this rebuild would take years. I thought we were so awful last season. We were so poor last season. I thought, Ten Hag's going to need 3-4 seasons. And Ten Hag exceeded my expectations in the first season. He's probably going to get top four. And I was thinking, Ten Hag won't get top four in his third season at United, because I looked at the squad, and I was saying this a year ago or like 10 months ago, because I looked at the squad and I went, this squad is awful. This squad does so much to do, so much work to do. You've got to change the mentality. It's going to be a really hard job for Ten Hag. And it's exceeding expectations and doing well. And people are getting aggressive. People are getting angry that we drop points to Leeds. And it's like, well, let's just be happy that, we drew. We're playing better football. I don't want to draw to Leeds, but let's be less aggressive and let's go. You know what? Ten Hag hasn't been backed. We're still 4 points clear of Spurs in third. 4 points in that top four race. We're still going in a good direction. Instead of whinging and crying, let's actually be like, okay, it's annoying to drop points. I think we should have won that. Let's get revenge on them at the weekend. But let's actually appreciate the direction and how much better we're starting to get under Erik Ten Hag compared to where we were last year. Because last year was an absolute shite show. Absolute shite show at United as well. Gaz says, put Alice on the board. Big up, Gaz. I'm also Piers Morgan's a nonsense, Nick. I'm also 8 minutes behind on the chat, so I really apologise for that as well. And don't believe the Western media, they're against Qatar. There's a lot of people in the Western media with Qatar agenda. I'm not saying they're perfect, but there's a bit of hypocrisy where people are acting like Jim Ratcliffe's perfect and the nicest guy ever and Qatar are dodgy. I haven't done my research, but why don't we do our research before we make the assumption? There's a lot of people that just would rather the Glazers in the Middle East. There's a lot of weirdly racist people as well, so-called top reds. And I just think, there's no owner that's going to go to United and be squeaky clean. But all we can ask for as a United fan base is owners that want us to be at the best. Alice, would you frame Fred again on Sunday? I would, because we have to. I tell you that now. I don't want to, but I would, because we have to. We are going to get into the Super League stuff. I can't believe that. Let's get into the Super League stuff. I actually can't believe this. I can't believe this. You know what? I can't be asked to actually get up what I've written down. So we're just gonna search it up. We're just gonna search it up. So, it's reportedly coming out now. Premier League clubs are refusing to be involved and would not prevent them progressing with plans. Now, I don't think the Premier League should join the Super League, because what I see it as is the Premier League's already got so much money. And you tell you what, the Super League just want, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, I don't know lots about it. I think the Super League want a bit of the Premier League pie. I think all these other leagues, Germany, Spain, all of France, I think they're getting jealous about the amount of money in the Premier League. But relegation teams in the Premier League are spending 100 million this year. Southampton dropping 30-40 million. Relegation teams spending 40-50 million on players. Only in the Premier League can relegation teams actually, Nottingham Forest spent over 100 million in the summer window. Only in the Premier League can relegation teams spend this kind of money. We see, managers who were managing top 6 Spanish clubs going to save Villa and Wolves from relegation. We see players like Danjuma going to relegation sides. Well, he didn't go to Everton. He went to Spurs in the end. But he would have gone to Everton. We see players from European mid-table and top six sides generally go to low-level Premier League sides, and the amount of money the Premier League spends. And in my opinion, I'm not a fan of the Super League because I think the Premier League is the Super League. I think the other leagues are getting a bit iffy, and I think they want a slice of the pie and the amount of the money that the Prem makes. Because this European Super League is now 60 to 80 teams with multiple divisions, no permanent members, and a minimum of 14 games per club per season. The players aren't robots. First of all, the players aren't robots. The players are going to have to play in the Premier League as well. That's 14 extra games. They're not robots. Second of all, there's no permanent divisions. There's no permanent members. There's multiple divisions. But why don't you just put 4 leagues in Spain and 4 leagues in France and all of that? All this travelling, all this going about. I'm an old school person. I don't like rule changes. I don't like that they even took away the aggregate stuff from the Champions League. I miss that. How you could win on away goals. On away goals in the Champions League. Sorry, that's what I meant. I don't like changes in football. Some of you might think this is a good idea. I don't like changes in football. I like the old school traditional rules, and I have to say I'm not a big fan of the Super League, and they're trying to bring it back. But I tell you what, if the Prem don't join, if no one in the Prem joins this, it won't be the same. The Premier League is that one thing where you've got Barca, you've got Real Madrid, and you can bring in Juventus, and you can bring in Bayern Munich, and you can make it a bit bigger. But the Premier League is what's going to bring in it's the biggest league in the world. It's going to bring in the main broadcasters. And if the Premier League clubs refuse, they won't get the results 100% they want. I just saw a comment here. Shove your Super League up your ass. No one wants it. Love that comment. And the English Super League would replace the UCL. I'm down for that. I don't know how I feel. It's just I'm old school. I would like to keep the UCL. It just makes it more profitable. I don't know. It depends if it's. For me, I'm very old school. I like the UCL, and I like that we have to finish in the top 4 to qualify for the UCL. Gives us some kind of ambition as well. But for me, I'm not a big fan of the Super League. It's better than the last one, but it's just a big league now. Fans won't allow it as well, and I'm not a fan of the Premier League getting too powerful. It's good for United, but bad for football. I think the Premier League itself is turning into a Super League, but I think, Man United and Premier League clubs get a lot more money because the Premier League generates so much more money itself. And I think, people in other leagues are jealous of how much money the Premier League generates. And, I think it's crazy. I mean, it's a piss take how much they charge us to watch it, but they just generate crazy money. Alice, get in the European Super League is winning the league, get top 4 and play a playoff from 4th to 5th to 9th. Whoever wins the playoff goes into the ESL with the league winners, the top 4 who win the playoffs. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I need to fully read up on the rules because I'm fucking confused. I'm fucking confused as well. And I'd be in for a new league to replace FIFA. And we're 80 likes away from 300 likes, people. Can we hit 300 likes by the end of the stream? I've got 10 minutes left of this stream. We've got over 500 people watching. Smash that like button. Get some questions in the chat. Get some stuff in the chat as well. But I reckon we can get 300 likes as well. I was just reading the chat, but I'm not going to read it out loud. Sometimes I see chats and I start reading them out loud, and then I realise, right, maybe that's not appropriate, or maybe that's a bit offensive, because I don't read the chat in my head before I click on it. I just click on a chat and I start reading it out. But I was just reading something now, I thought I won't read that out as well. And honestly, I hope Liverpool don't sack Klopp. He's good for us. I think Klopp's a good manager. I just want whatever's worse for Liverpool. I think if Klopp's going to make Liverpool shit, keep Klopp. Keep Klopp at all as well. I don't like UEFA and I don't like FIFA. I agree as well. Is Casemiro's red card removed? No, Casemiro is out for 3 games. Casemiro is out for 3 games. His 3-match ban stands unless there's a big update coming on saying that Casemiro is no longer a 3-match ban. I'd love it as well. But honestly, Super League is back out. I'm just looking at the news on the Super League. I'm just going to just check in case there is any news on Casemiro and all of that as well. But no one wants the Super League. No one wants it, in my opinion. They've made it better. No news is coming out that Casemiro's ban's been overturned. Nothing like that. I didn't think there would be any of that as well. I want to get into some more stories, guys, because honestly, today is just absolutely crazy for news. Absolutely crazy. I mean, Qatari royal family making a bid. So much coming in and out. We spoke obviously about the Garnacho situation as well. We've obviously got the Super League news. I'll talk about the bit that came out surrounding United with the Super League. I'll tell you what, today they just hit us with the news stories. They just hit us with about 100 news stories today, didn't they? Well, it was said breaking, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus understood to have contacted more than 50 clubs in the hope of creating a new European tournament, a multi-division competition of 60 to 80 teams with no permanent members and a minimum of 14 games per season. And obviously, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, the ringleaders behind it. Premier League are staying a little bit out of this, and I'll tell you why the Premier League is staying out of this. And I like to tweet about this. If I can find it in my liked tweets somewhere, it's not far down, is it? I think it's in my liked tweets. Here it is. Basically, the Premier League referred to this statement, and they basically said if a Premier League club agrees to join the Super League, they'll be deducted 30 points and a £25 million fine. So the Premier League clubs are being very reluctant to join the Super League because they know they'll get a fat fine and a points deduction as well. So I think, again, none of the Premier League teams have actually accepted the Super League stuff now. Glazers to buy Liverpool. I put out a tweet that Glazers should buy Liverpool the other day. You know what? Glazers should sell United and use the money to buy Liverpool and then make Liverpool shit. Or, as I said, as Man City's punishment, their owner should be forced out like Abramovich and given the Glazers. That's what I was saying. Alex Corr says football's corrupt now, definitely. There's just too much money involved in the game. I think it's a sport that's obviously turned into a money-making thing, and then the whole business has took over the industry. And obviously, you've got to make money out of things. You've got to make it profitable. I understand the whole business side of it, but it's almost like they don't think about the fans or the players anymore. Yeah, for me, in my opinion, they don't as well. Lampard, Lex, Liverpool manager. Honestly, Lampard or Gerrard, because they're shocking. Liverpool fans going on, oh, Gerrard's going to be our next manager. Look at him do well at Rangers. I'll tell you what, I'll happily have Gerrard as Liverpool's next manager. I think it would be quite funny. I mean, honestly, Lampard and Gerrard, shocking. I thought Rooney was doing a good job, and I thought he should have stayed at Derby. Rooney might be all right. There's some good managers out there, but yeah, Lampard and Gerrard, they weren't it, really. They weren't it as well. No one's interested in Liverpool. Yeah, no one wants Liverpool. And Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus got a super corrupt hierarchy. And it's a shame, just like in football in general, kind of just how kind of corrupt and money orientated it's gotten as well. Barcelona, I mean, honestly, doing some dodgy stuff with some of the money they were spending and all that as well. All a bit on the dodgy side as well. I want to talk about what Ten Hag had to say on Jadon Sancho, though, because I think this is really interesting, because I think we all know something went down with Sancho, and we're not really 100% sure. And I'm going to read this out because it's kind of a hint of why Ten Hag's been so supportive of Sancho. So Ten Hag said that he's really happy that Sancho is on the right path, and I hope he can continue his momentum. I'm sure it will motivate him to do even more. He's a great footballer, and if he invests himself, he can be exceptional. So Ten Hag's talking about how happy he is for Sancho, how he kind of believes in Sancho, how Sancho will get to the top, and how he's doing well. And there was all these fake, and it really irritate me. There was all these fake reports from these clickbait journalists that would just do anything for a click and all of that. And all these fake journalists on Twitter that brought their blue tick, saying, "Oh, Ten Hag and Sancho had a big bust up. Sancho's got an attitude problem. Sancho's doing this. Sancho's doing that." And I've been telling you guys for ages, I don't believe any of it. I've been telling you guys for ages, I don't believe any of it. Sancho this, Sancho that, big bust up with Ten Hag. And you can just tell by the way Ten Hag talks about Sancho, he rates him highly, and he's been patient with Sancho for a reason, because obviously something's gone down as well. Ten Hag is definitely going to get the best out of Sancho. I 100% agree. I think he will. And Sancho got so much stick as well. And Alice, since you're the first person to pitch for Ten Hag, do you rate him now? I do. It's mad that there's a video from me in 2019, 4 years ago, saying when we'd got Ollie, saying I'd actually go for Ten Hag. I was saying in the early Ollie days I'd be going for Ten Hag. Alice is an early Ten Hag pitcher. That clip always comes up. I think it must have like over 1 million views on TikTok now or something. It must be doing crazy. I've got to find that clip and play it in my video. Wait, actually, I'm just going to quickly go on TikTok and see if I can find the clip. I reckon if I type in Alice, Ten Hag, it might come up because it's got quite a few million views. Alice Ten Hag. See if I can find this clip for you guys. Videos. I've got to log in. Just continue using Twitter. I've got to bloody log in. Fuck off, you twats. I'm making a TikTok account now, apparently. It's making me sign. I just want to get this video up for you guys, and it's just making me sign up for TikTok. I've got a TikTok account. I just don't know my details to log in on my computer. Date of birth. Fucking hell. Bloody hell, people. I just want to show this video of me like talking about Ten Hag in 2019, and I can't find the video because I've got to give myself a username. Sign up. Alice has just made a TikTok account for like the 5th time. So Alice Ten Hag. If the video doesn't come up now, I've just made myself a TikTok account. If the video doesn't come up now, I'll be fuming. Here we go. What is this account? Apparently I've already got a second account. Here it is. So let me get this up on my... You can hear that. You can hear that, but I need to get it up on the screen here. This is the OG. Oh, camera's lost focus. This is the OG Alice video. This is 2019. Do not laugh at me. This was 4 years ago. I'm not in... And you see that? Is that all right? Yeah, I'm not in my best... I'm in my Man United. It was very cold. It was like January 2019 or something. Or February. It's cold.
So let's say Solskjaer gets sacked. Who do you bring in then? Who comes and saves the club?
I could say Ajax manager. He's doing quite well.
3 years later, and it's happening.
So let's say Solskjaer gets sacked. Who do you bring in then? Who comes and saves the club?
I could say Ajax manager. He's doing quite well.
So, I mean, look, I didn't say Ten Hag. I said Ajax manager because I didn't want to bottle his name because I couldn't remember what his name was when I got interviewed. I'll admit that. But I was literally got interviewed at an Old Trafford match. This was like back in 2019. And I was like, Ten Hag. I said, I like Ten Hag. He's doing well. I said, I like the Ajax manager. He's doing well. She knew from day one. I've been backing Ten Hag to United for years. Like, trust me, when we signed Ten Hag in the summer, if you guys were watching me in the summer, well, April kind of time, I was so happy. I didn't want Poch. I've been wanting Ten Hag for ages. I remember even saying like a year and a half ago when it was start, that I would love Ten Hag to be United manager, but I can't see it happening. I see him going to City. I was even talking about, when we were being linked to Conte and just before we got Ralph in as interim manager, I was saying my dream is Ten Hag to come in. I think we'd have to wait till the summer for that. Can we get him? I didn't think Ten Hag would come to United, and yeah, I've always been like big on Ten Hag as well. But Agent Alice as well. One of my OG interviews. That is somewhere. The full interview I think is on like Haters TV or something as well. But yeah, I do actually have a TikTok account. It's just I don't know. I only have it on my phone. I don't have it on my computer. So I could stalk my I could stalk my TikTok. This is my actual. This was my big Garnacho. I'll show you my Garnacho.
This is a joke. Garnacho's sitting on Twitter, liking tweets, slandering him, saying he's not good enough to play for Man United because some of our fans are overreacting because he missed the one-on-one and had an odd poor performance. Are fans forgetting that Garnacho got Player of the Month the other month? Are fans forgetting the impact he had versus Man City, the assist he got, the winning goal versus Fulham, how good he was versus Crystal Palace the other day and involved in the goal, and how good he's been for us as an 18-year-old? Did you see Ronaldo at 18? Inconsistent. Vinicius Jr. even a few years ago as inconsistent as Garnacho. He's 18, he's raw, but he's a direct, fantastic player that's always looking to make an impact. No 18-year-old's going to turn up week in, week out. Why are we judging him like he's in his prime? Leeds was a physical game. He was getting pushed off the ball. It wasn't his game. But it's perfectly normal for an 18-year-old to be inconsistent. They're a youth player. We nurture them, not knocking their confidence or something.
So yeah, that's just my TikTok from earlier on Garnacho, but this is my TikTok account. If you don't follow me, I actually do have TikTok when I do post. But I was just showing you the old video back, and I hope the sound worked and all of that. But that I was just got that up to show you a clip of me like 3-4 years ago talking about Ten Hag as well. And Matt says the Premier League steals from United to give it to City and other school clubs. We bring the audience, not them, and that is true. The one thing is like United bring the audience to the league, so United should get a higher broadcasting revenue. That is one way you can kind of see it as well. But yeah, Alice is now just promoting her TikTok everywhere. But Alice obviously scouting Ten Hag from the early days. But I was doing a big Garnacho rant on TikTok today. I was doing a big Garnacho, not on Garnacho, but just on people hating on Garnacho because it just honestly absolutely infuriates me. The amount of stick Garnacho was getting on Twitter, trending. Garnacho crap, Garnacho this and Garnacho. The worst part is Garnacho's sitting there and Garnacho's like generally liking these negative tweets on him, and I just think really I think like this is just going to knock his confidence as well, honestly. And you know what? I want to sum up this video because I've been live for a while. I want to talk about the news and all of that as well. So get any final questions in why this stupid thing won't focus. Will you focus? You won't focus. Focus! Fucking thing. But there's news on Jim Ratcliffe. Interest. Today we've learned, okay, is that Jim Ratcliffe is interested in United. Jim Ratcliffe's going to make a bid. He's getting goal ban and sacks involved. I'm not a fan of it. Top Reds are not for me. We've also learned today that Qatar are interested. It's separate from the QSI. It would be a full takeover from Qatar. They've got a shit ton of money. Saudi Arabia, people are interested in it. US, 2 companies are interested in it. Also hearing potential interest from people like China and Singapore. That's what we found today. But the real thing we learned today and the real purpose of this video is the full sale of Man United is happening. The Glazers are going. The Glazers are leaving. The Glazers will be gone. Because we've confirmed today from good sources, the Times, Mike Keegan of the Mail, really good sources have come and told us today, people want United. People are going to be paying this $5 billion for United. United's going to be sold. The Rain Group said in December, full sale of United's going to happen, and it's going to happen by the first quarter of 2023. 1 week left for the bidding. And then generally in the next coming weeks, we're going to know who the next owners are. The process is going to start. We're going to know their plans. We could be sitting here pissed off. We could be sitting here not a fan of it. Or we could be sitting here gassed that we're going to get oil money in and be unstoppable. I don't know what we're going to be, and I don't know where we're going to be. But new ownership, it looks like it's coming to United. The Glazers, today, it seems like the Glazers are going. And I feel in a really good mood. And, you know, if I'm getting excited for nothing, and if the Glazers are still here and some absolute see you next Tuesday wants to put in a minority stake bid to keep the Glazers here, then honestly, fuck them. But it just feels like finally we've got the confirmation over these last few days that those Glazers, them ratty parasites are going. Potential interest from Dubai, but that hasn't been confirmed. It's like finally they're going as well. And the camera, the focus on the camera is a bit iffy as well. But look, we're 30 likes away from the 300 like target. Can we get 300 likes by the end of the live stream? If we've got over 400 people watching, I'm sure 330 of you haven't hit that like button. So before I end the live stream, let's go for obviously see if we can hit the like target as well. People would be appreciated as well. And Ratcliffe can't compete with Qatar and the Saudis. Yes, the only thing is the Qatar and Saudis want United, but will they laugh at United's valuation of $6 billion? Will Jim Ratcliffe, so-called United fan, be so desperate for United that actually Jim Ratcliffe would be like, you know what, like I'm going to pay this valuation, even if it's ridiculous. I'm going to pay this for United. I'm going to pay that for United. You know, you don't potentially know who's willing to pay the most. I do think it was said that, you know, Jim Ratcliffe's got, you know, a consortium together to help him, you know, but this consortium that Jim Ratcliffe's got was full of bankers, which is giving me the ick. You know, it was said, though, that if Qatar have so much money, they're $335 billion, that they could put a bid in that no one else can match for United. You know, it was said that about Qatar as well. And it has been said that multiple parties in Saudi Arabia are interested, and this does not include the owners of Newcastle. And reportedly, the 5 parties interested in Manchester United are all interested in the full sale of United. Honestly, apparently the 5 parties interested in United are all interested in the full sale. So that could very much be the end. Very much be the end of the Glazers, and hopefully it will be, as I need those Glazers to go. But look, everyone has opinions about who the new owners should be. Like, at the end of the day, no new owner is going to be perfect. No new owner is going to have perfect morals. I'm just at a point where we've had such bad ownership for so long. I don't give a fuck who the next owner is, as long as the next owner is someone that is going to put United as the #1 priority, not use us as a bank, not use us to make milk and make money out of. The next owner, if they sit here and they just make United their #1 priority and they go fuck City, fuck Liverpool. I think Sir Alex said once, you know, we're going to knock Liverpool off their perch. If the new owner of Man United goes and does a Sir Alex and is like, fuck Liverpool, we're going to knock those twats off their perch. City aren't going to ever touch a Premier League trophy again. United is going to be absolutely unstoppable. We're going to make United the modern day Real Madrid, Champions League winners, Premier League winners, European success, because there's no better club to do it with than United. We've got the fan base, we generate the money. You know, it's not like PSG and Man City where they've kind of been made bigger. We're in the biggest league in the world. We're the biggest league in the world with the biggest fan base, with a fantastic manager. You sack Arnold, you sack Murtough, piss off. Bring in Paul Mitchell, Van der Sar, Michael Edwards, whoever you want to bring in. Get steal some people from Benfica and Brighton in the scouting department and build a structure to this club. Boom, 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 boom. Get 10 other players. Frankie de Jong, Osimhen, I don't give a fuck. And that, for me, is United getting back to the top. And I have a feeling about Qatar, but do not rule out Jim Ratcliffe. Do not rule out the US. Do not rule out Saudi Arabia. I do think over the coming weeks and days, we will have a strong indication of who the next owners would be as well. And why would you want someone to buy the club with loans again because he's English? Exactly. And with other people when the shit hit the fan. Exactly. This is why I'm not a fan of the Jim Ratcliffe stuff. Getting bankers involved. It just feels like, yeah, I'm not a fan of Jim Ratcliffe. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. I don't like the sounds of the bankers getting involved. It could be Glazers 2.0. I know he supports United in that, but he's doing a lot of PR. I think he'll look at United as a business, and he hasn't been that great with Nice. I do. Jim Ratcliffe gives me the ick a bit. Gives me the look. I'm not. I just want someone that I think is going to be the best for United in terms of actually getting us trophies. And in my opinion, I don't think that's Jim Ratcliffe. And everyone has a different opinion, but for me, just getting bankers involved, loans, all of that, I just think fuck off. And the sad thing is, the Glazers will sell to anyone. The Glazers will sell to whoever gives them the most money. So, you know, Chelsea's owners, Abramovich, made sure they sold to someone that he knew was going to invest the fuck into Chelsea and wants Chelsea to be at the top. Our owners, if Jim Ratcliffe wants to do Glazers 2.0, the Glazers will sell to him if he gives them the most money. That's the most annoying bit as well. But look, people, I've been live for a while. I've been waffling for a while. I'm going to wrap up the live stream. And do you write your upload schedule on a whiteboard? I do. I haven't really for this week. I've written a few scribbles where the matches are. But I need to update that, to be honest, as well. And City could be relegated to the bottom tier of English football. I think that would be too harsh of a punishment. I put them in the Championship. However, I would definitely enjoy it if they got completely kicked out as well. And don't worry, Sir Jim can't afford. It's not about buying the club. It's about afterwards, 2 billion spent. I mean, Sir Jim's got money, but it would just be, you know, this is like no money to the Qataris. This is a lot of money to Sir Jim. You know, that's the thing that, you know, wouldn't impact the Qataris so much as well. I don't like the sounds of Qatar. Look at what's going on in the city. They're corrupt. I get that. I get to an extent why people aren't a big fan of the idea of Qatar. It's just the people that would rather have the Glazers than Qatar I don't get. But look, I think all owners are corrupt. There's problems going on a lot with a lot of these owners. None of them are perfect. None of them are clean. I just want the Glazers gone, and that's how I feel as well. And I think Qatar want to build a new stadium. They want to back Ten Hag. They want to give them a big summer. They seem to be ambitious. It could all be PR. We all could be getting fooled. You never know. But anyway, smash a like, smash a subscribe. I'm back tomorrow with 2 videos. I'm back Saturday with a live stream, and I'm back Sunday with a watch along. So subscribe for that. Any updates on new ownerships, Jim Ratcliffe, US, Saudi, Qatar, I am there to tell you. You want to stay up to date on all the latest new owners and transfers, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Big up everybody that watched today's video. It was a good live stream. See you next time, and bye.